Hi, everybody. This is Julie from Willow Baking, and I'm here with Caitlin from Whisk,
Hi.
and we are going to answer some of your questions about blogging. And I have to brag on Caitlin a little bit because she is one of my favorite bloggers, and I love her site mostly because she's an amazing writer. She's an amazing baker and amazing photographer as well, but I'm in love with her writing personally. Um, and I brag about her all the time to all my students, and you're going to love her too. If you don't already know her blog, you should go check it out. It's www.whisk, and isn't it was hyphenated?
Yep, it's hyphenated.
Whisk-kid.com. Um, and we're going to answer some questions. The first question we have is from Molly, and I'll let Caitlin answer first. Molly says, I'm always curious about what other bloggers' routines are between cooking, photographing, editing photos, writing the post, etc. Do you blog as you feel like it, or do you have a set schedule throughout the week?
Okay. I used to have a set schedule. Freshman and sophomore year, it was a lot easier to keep up with the blog just because of schoolwork, and I wasn't working back then. Now it's more of I go. Wow, I don't know why I can't talk. I'm nervous.
You
now,
are.
now I just blog when I can, and I try to make it fit my schedule as often as I can. But it's usually a weekend morning thing. Usually I write the post late at night, sometime during the week, and weekend morning I'll bake, or the night before I'll bake, and in the morning when I photograph it, I plug it all together. Usually though it goes post, baking, then photography obviously has to come next, and then plugging it all in. Like I said, though, usually weekends is when I finally get it done. What about you, Julie?
I feel like that's me too. Well, so I used to have a better schedule as well. By the way, everybody, the squeaking you hear is Bird. She is going to town on her squeaky toy right now because she has decided it's playtime. But I used to have a better schedule than I do right now. What usually happens is I bake Friday night and Saturday morning, do all my photography Saturday morning, and then I write the post whenever I can. And so usually that means a little bit on the weekends and throughout the week. Usually late night, I'm just jamming on the post as I get inspired. And it usually ends up getting published somewhere midweek if I'm lucky, and then bake again next weekend. So the photography is definitely the hardest thing to time, and you'll quickly realize this if you're a food blogger. There's only a certain amount of daylight, and daylight's the best for food photography, and so that really, your schedule really ends up hinging on that. So, alrighty, next question is from Jill, and Jill asks, how do you decide what to write about? Do you choose a recipe that's intriguing to you and therefore you think will interest others?
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, you go for it, girl.
Okay. With recipes, I usually pick something that I think looks good, hoping that someone else will like it. And then I try to play with ingredients that I know other people are either interested in or haven't seen that often before. And I try to do new combinations that will keep people interested. And then as for writing, I usually just kind of find, I'm a lot like Julie, I think, in this respect. I try to find something personal that's relatable just to write about. And I don't always tie my posts in with the food, which is something I've always been unsure of how people react to, but I think it works. I don't know. I just kind of write about life in general and then throw some food in there to make people happy.
That's kind of what I've ended up on too. Yeah, I get excited about all kinds of food. I'll usually get on like a kick, a lemon kick or something like that, and I'll just go on it for a while. And sometimes I do kind of think about what kind of food other people will enjoy or what's popular right then. But I never make anything that I don't want to like stick my face in and eat all of over the weekend. And then in terms of writing about it, that is so true. The writing is definitely first priority for me, and I know it's high priority for Caitlin as well. And I know the kinds of things that interest people because I know when I get a big response. Like I know in particular people love to hear about my days in the classroom because everybody remembers being in the classroom, and it's just fun to hear those stories. And so I try to think of what made me laugh or what was important to me and write a story about it that sort of I actually feel like I process my thoughts through writing. So it's sort of I reflect and reach conclusions. Yeah. And so I write about things I want to process like that. So.
That's a perfect way to put it. That's exactly how it is
Mm-hmm.
for me too. Anything that I need extra thought, trying to
Mm-hmm.
figure out and just trying to figure out how it relates to everything in the big picture, definitely writing about it helps.
Yeah. And it's so funny because I think people usually think of writing as like, after I figured it out, I'm going to write it all down. But that's totally opposite for me.
Same here.
And then, well, which just goes to show you we need a lot of thought, right? We write a lot. Um, June asks, gets to the more technical side of blogging, which I know a lot of people have questions about. I have a friend who's starting up a blog. She's a comedian, actually, and she's hilarious, and she's starting up a blog. Um, and she asks some of this stuff as well. How did you start the design of your blog, and is it hard to start one? And she also asks about like where to start in terms of hosting, or should you self-host first? What are your thoughts about all that, Caitlin?
Mine was kind of a Frankenstein type deal when I first started blogging. My first blog layout, I think I've always been interested in graphic design. I'm not very good at it. And HTML I've been interested in for a while, and I'm not super good at it, but I kind of know my way around enough to like edit things that I do fine, and I can kind of start from the bottom and like just work pieces together and do that. But there are a lot of templates out there that'll suit your needs that look, they're polished, they're professional. No one's going to judge you for using a template. And then as for hosting, I started off just on Blogger, and I liked it a lot. But then people started telling me that if I was really going to take blogging seriously, that I should switch to a .com. And I don't even know, honestly, if that counts as self-hosting. I got it through GoDaddy, and I like it. It works because Blogger just has it integrated to where it feeds straight to the website, so I don't have to manage any of it, which is really nice. What were the other questions?
I know. That's kind of how she says. No, I think that was it. She says hosting or self-hosting. Oh, is it hard to start one?
Oh, it's not. I feel like I'm not giving you any time to talk. Everything I say is just
No, go on. You're doing great.
thanks. It's not super hard to start one. I mean, starting a blog, you have to have like an idea and like create the content. That's hard in itself. But like the technical side of it, a lot of it is like done in a way that, I mean, it makes it intuitive. It makes it sort of easy for you. And if you do have questions, a lot of people are into blogging. So if you Google stuff, you're going to find an answer. And the blogging community is really good too. So if you have a question and you find something like this, or you get on Twitter, or you email someone, they're going to help you more often than not. So
We hope.
Yeah, we don't bite.
Yeah, if you tweet one of us, we're going to help you. I started similarly. I didn't really think too much about the design at first. I started on WordPress.com, which is a nice little site. It's free, and they have a nice little text editor where you can type in your blog, so you don't really have to know any of the technical stuff at first. And I definitely say if you're starting out to start there. Like Caitlin said, no one's going to judge you about templates. Just choose one that you love. And it's a lot easier to take that worry off your mind when you're just starting and worrying most about content, because blogs we could say this, I think, until we were blue in the face. Like, this is the most important message. Blogs are all about content.
Yep.
Don't start a blog to make money. You'll be disappointed.
Yeah.
Don't start a blog, just to be famous or whatever. Start a blog if you have good ideas that you want to share. And then the design is kind of secondary. I eventually did go into self-hosting, so I bought a domain name, which you can get from somewhere like GoDaddy, which I think is where I got mine as well. And then you can also, it's just the one I knew. And then you can actually buy hosting space at somewhere. Like, I have my hosting space at HostGator, and I love them. They're great, very supportive. And you can link your domain name to your host. If all this sounds complicated, it's because it kind of is. And you don't have to do it, so
I've gotten by without hosting anything on any sites. Like, I used to. For anyone out there that wants to know.
Exactly. And so if you don't have to, you don't have to. I do it mostly because WordPress.com doesn't allow ads, and I wanted to monetize my blog. I feel like it's important. to me, it's hard to keep up with the cost. So it just helps a little bit. But like I said, I'm not getting rich over here. So, so yeah, but definitely ask people for help if you need any. And yeah. And Amelia asks us, how do you make it work? By which she means, which could have a lot of answers. But she means, how do you balance your gotta do's, like work and relationships, with your wanna do's, like your blog?
For me, at this point, it's not like it's a chore or anything. I just have to kind of make the blog I gotta do.
Yeah.
Just set aside a chunk of time for it. Tell your friends, hey, I can't hang out tonight. I'm busy. Like they'll get it. Like people understand if I say that I have to bake or something for a lot of reasons. But just setting aside the time for it. You just make it a priority.
I think that's a great answer. When someone asks me how I do it, I always want to say poorly. Like, Kayla and I were just joking about this before we got on air. She's like, I hope no one asks me to show them my kitchen because I have a sink full of dishes. And I'm like, I literally have sorry, Bird is right here playing with her toy. Here is her toy. She wants me to throw it. I literally have a broken plant, like pot broken and all, soil all over, like laying on my floor right now because I've not had time to put the vacuum cleaner bag in the vacuum. And so how do I make it work? I don't. I don't balance. I try really hard to prioritize, and like for instance, my boyfriend needs to come first. My work at school needs to come first. My students have to come first. And then I squeeze in, there are late nights, there's writing at all hours. And, the thing that keeps motivating me to make it a gotta do, like Caitlin said, is that it's really fun. Like, I really love to blog. I love writing, and I love when you publish a post. It's just one of the best feelings. It's like pulling croissants out of the oven for me. Like, that's the best analogy. Yeah, I'm like a big cake. And so it's so fun that I want to fit it in even if I'm sleepy. It's not like Zumba where you kind of want to skip it. No offense to Zumbers. I may or may not be skipping my spin class right now. But time for that. I had to hang out. But yeah, it is basically just you love it, and so you squeeze it in there. But I have a pretty insane schedule. Like
it sounds like you always sound like you're doing something like and going and going and going. Whenever I see you post anything, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, it's kind of ridiculous. Like I think if anybody really saw my schedule, they'd be like, you're a little bit unhealthy. And so
sometimes.
So what?
You don't sleep?
Yeah, well, I should sleep more than I do. I really should. But I'm trying to balance it better this year. I've made sure to stick in exercise, and I'm trying to get to sleep on time. And so for a while, I had it going on 2 posts a week because that's what some bloggers do, those fancy bloggers. And then I realized that, that just wasn't me, and I can do once a week, and that's what I can do. Mm-hmm. So, Bird, don't fall off the bed.
Oh, no.
Oh, gosh. She's like totally, hi, everybody. She's totally backing off the bed right now. Okay. We're good. We're good. Dog emergency. So, yeah. And I want to throw in one last question, Caitlin, from just me. What do you think, for a blogger just starting out, is the most important thing to keep in mind?
I think being genuine is the biggest part of blogging. Like, I think a huge truck just drove by. Whoa.
We're both like, distraction.
It's kind of freaked me out. Sorry. Being genuine, though. If you're blogging just to blog about trends, like if, I don't even know what's hot right now. I've been so busy. I feel terrible that I haven't been keeping up with, like, blogs or food news or any of that. But, like, when macaroons were big, like, I feel like a lot of people just, like, got on the macaroon bandwagon and, like, all they did, like, it gets worn out, Blog about what you care about. Post things that, you think will taste good or you think people will be interested in. Don't do it just because, you know, everyone else is doing it. Of course, you can be genuinely interested in stuff. I did my fair share of macaroon recipes. Um, but then when you write, write from your heart, as corny as it sounds, like write what's real. Don't try to make yourself sound like, oh, blah, 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 I'm this, I'm that, or anything. Just be yourself. That's what it comes down to, I think.
I love that advice. Like, I don't even think I can add to that, y'all.
I was
Um,
afraid that you were going to say the same thing.
no, that's so perfect. I guess like I just underscore the importance of like good content. When I say good content, I don't mean just like Caitlin said. I don't mean like the latest trend or the trendiest, fanciest thing. I mean, be yourself. And what I like to emphasize is like be yourself in the weird ways that you are yourself. Like don't be your boring, facade that you put on for the world self. Really show who you are and show your quirks and tell your stories, your personal stories, the ones that make you unique, because those are the things that are going to get people hooked. And, think about the blogs you love to read and why you love them. And chances are you love them because there's a personality behind them that you're excited about and that you want to keep track of and want to keep up with. And so give people that of yourself. That's why your friends love you in real life. That's why your peeps are going to love you on the internet. So
You have to amplify it too. Like it is important, like she said, to just kind of underscore and make sure that you highlight your uniqueness and your differences, because the internet is flat, whereas you in person, you're not flat. Like you have to amplify everything to make sure that it comes across too.
it is so true. Highlight your uniqueness. There's this awesome author that came and talked to us, and she said she liked to play at my school. And she says she likes to play the What Makes Me Weird game and all those little quirks that come out about you, like you like to count, you have to count your Skittles before you eat them, or you have to color code your Starburst or whatever. Those are the fun things that people love to know about you. So, just think about what makes you unique and focus on that in your work. So, awesome. Thank you so much, Caitlin, for taking your time to
Thank
tell
you.
us about blogging. And we love Whisk Kid, so if you haven't been yet, go check it out and come check out Willow Bird Baking. And if you didn't get your questions answered here today, please feel free to tweet us. Caitlin's at Whisk Kid, and I'm at Julie Ruble, R-U-B-L-E. And other than that, we'll see you on your blog. See you later.
Bye.